What's going on, Browns fans? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson here, recapping the latest on your Cleveland Browns, the latest news, the latest rumors, all that good stuff going into Week 17. So we got some fun trade rumors to hit on during today's show. But let's be honest, this season may feel like it is sort of lost or over once you're eliminated from the playoffs. But I'm playing for one thing for sure, and that's not beating Washington necessarily. That is this right here. Week 18 from Acrisure Field, or whatever it's called now in Pittsburgh. And here at Chat Sports, we've got numerous NFL channels. I, the host of the Browns Report, Matthew Peterson, would love to not only beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on the field in Week 18, but I want to beat Steelers Talk, hosted by Jack Sperry, in subscribers. So we've got a little bit of ground to make up right now. We've made a lot of progress this season. At one point, the Browns Report was behind by 9,000 subscribers. Now it's been close to about 3,000. So if you've not subscribed and you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, join the channel today. So let's jump into some of our Browns rumors today. First one here, Davante Adams. Could he get traded to the Browns? I'm giving this just one Bernie head, right? It's not quite fake news, more so because I think Davante Adams could get traded. Not necessarily to Cleveland, but I just want that to be on your radar, that Davante Adams might be on the way out of Vegas after just one season because his best friend, Derek Carr, just got benched, and he's not too excited about it. So, might we see Davante Adams come into the land? No, probably not. I can almost say more than probably. Almost definitely not. But we also were told Deshaun Watson wouldn't come to Cleveland. So, as long as that is a possibility, I'm not going to rule anything out after last offseason, right? Davante Adams was pretty non-committal about his future in Vegas, and Adams with a Raiders team that might be rebuilding could be on the trading block. Listen, after Derek Carr was benched, or the news of him being benched, here's what Davante Adams said to the media. Obviously, I don't think anybody was excited about it in here. You know, him being one of my really good friends and the reason why I came here in the first place. I wouldn't be here right now if he wasn't here. I think everybody knows how I feel about him. And with that said, obviously, I support my guy. So Davante Adams, I think, is definitely open to options right now because with a benching of Derek Carr, then it really feels like Derek Carr's time in Vegas is done. And if that's the case, then does Davante Adams want to hang around there? I don't know. I'm not so sure about that. And maybe he becomes available on the trade market. So maybe the Browns, who are in need of a wide receiver, they reach out. Probably, they may reach out, but I don't think they're going to get much of a response. Davante Adams this year has quietly put together an amazing season. I mean, he is going to go over 100 receptions, over 1,300 yards, and probably over 13 touchdowns. It feels like maybe a bit of a down year for Adams because it just didn't involve a 1 seed in the NFC. Now, if Davante Adams were to be traded before June 1st, which if he is traded, that's probably when it's going to be, so a team can get draft capital for this upcoming draft, the dead cap hit is huge for Vegas. $31.4 million. The cap savings is negative 16. That's not a typo. So financially, it makes no sense. I really don't see a path for it happening other than the Raiders decide we want to tear it all down. Davante Adams doesn't want to be here anymore because of Derek Carr is out, which seems like a bit of an overreaction. I think Davante Adams would be happy to play for the Raiders next year, even without Derek Carr in a rebuilding season, because he's making about $30 million. He gets to live in Las Vegas, and he's close to home in California, which was a big deal for him. But overall, financially, and just the lack of draft capital, I'm not sure if Davante Adams goes for a first-round pick. He's over 30. He's definitely better than a first-round receiver is going to be, most likely. But when you're that up in the age column and your contract is that big, maybe it's a second-rounder. All in all, it's virtually impossible. But I say virtually impossible because it's not a 0% chance. If it was a 0% chance, Deshaun Watson would beat the Falcons or the Saints right now. Just going to put that out there. All right, second rumor to hit on now. Greg Newsome for Jerry Jeudy, sort of a player-for-player swap. We got some fun trade rumors here. I'm going to give it just 2 Bernie heads. I don't think it's as low as Davante Adams. I think this one has a bit more of a probability of happening, but I don't think we should run with this to 3 or 4 Bernie heads. So this rumor, this sort of idea, if you will, comes from Jack Duffin, who's a great Twitter follower. If you haven't checked him out, putting out lots of great Browns content. And he pointed out some pretty compelling points of the Browns are pretty stacked at outside cornerback right now with the way Martin Emerson has played this season. Martin Emerson, Denzel Ward, A.J. Green, Thomas Graham, they're pretty good on the outside. And so then you start looking around going, well, where's Greg Newsome going to fit in? Because Newsome in the slot this year, I think we can all admit, just hasn't worked. So with that being said, maybe Greg Newsome is movable, just like Troy Hill last year. So if Newsome is not going to be your long-term slot corner, and you like Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson over him at the outside corner spot, then Newsome all of a sudden might be a piece you try to trade and flip and get some draft capital for, because you need some extra bullets in the chamber going into this offseason without a first-round pick. Now, Newsome this season, it's been up and down, right? I think we can all agree it was not a beautiful start on the inside for him. He's gotten better as the year progressed, and maybe that's encouraging for Stefanski and Barry to roll with that going into next season. Overall, PFF has him ranked 47th out of 121st, an overall grade of 66, which is just sort of okay. I mean, 47 out of 121, that's not what you want your first-round cornerback to be, especially in a position where he doesn't seem all that comfortable in, and he sort of vocalized that he is not thrilled about where he is right now. Newsome this season, the stats, they aren't luxurious. 37 tackles, 3 pass breakups, no interceptions, no forced fumbles. And on the other side of the equation, how about Jerry Jeudy? I haven't mentioned his name yet. Jerry Jeudy this year, 6 touchdowns, 663 yards. These are 2 players who, let's be honest, I wouldn't say have been disappointing first-round picks, but maybe a bit more on the underwhelming side. So if there were to be a player swap for Jeudy and Newsome, I think Cleveland would have to kick in some extra, party favors to make the deal go through. I bet Judy's, stock right now is a bit higher than Greg Newsome's. Newsome is not having a great year, and Jerry Jeudy, albeit not looking like a surefire wide receiver 1 from the first round, he's had some great moments. So I think in order for this trade to go down, if it were to, you'd have to have a late day 3 pick swap that benefits Denver by a little bit, and an extra 3rd rounder. Jerry Jeudy was getting some 2nd round attention by the trade deadline. Nowadays, he's gotten some ankle injuries flaring up, and you're tossing in Greg Newsome. That 2nd might fall to a 3rd. But what do you do this trade? Cleveland needs help at wide receiver. Sort of, right? They need a slot receiver. That's really what we're getting at here. When people say the Browns need a receiver, no one is saying that Amari Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones aren't enough. What they're saying is they need someone else who does the slot role, right, over the middle, some speed element to add to this offense, because they don't have that in Anthony Schwartz on a consistent basis. So Jerry Jeudy could help you out in that department. Moving on here, story number 3, Ethan Pocic. Is he returning in 2023? I'm going to give it 3 Bernie heads. We go 1, 2, 3, baby. I think that's the first ever on the show. I do think Ethan Pocic may be, I do believe Ethan Pocic is more likely than unlikely to return next season, and I'll tell you why in just a second. But today's show is brought to you by BetUS. Check out chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Browns125 and BetUS, our proud sportsbook partner today. They're going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. In kind of layman's terms, imagine if you ordered a pizza and the pizza guy comes with not 1, but 2 pizzas and an extra generous slice on top. There's no other sportsbook out there that's giving you this kind of action. So get started right now. You got to use this link with the promo code. So let's get back to our good friend Ethan Pocic here. Cameron Justice tweeted out that Browns OC AVP said he thinks the team would like to keep Pocic on the roster next season, noting how well he's played in the starting center role. And really quickly, hand up if you're with me and you were banging the drum, we need J.C. Tretter back when Nick Harris went down, because I don't trust Ethan Pocic. Wow, was I wrong. All-time bad take by me. Ethan Pocic this year has been one of the best centers in football, ranking 3rd out of 39. He missed some games with a knee injury. He came back last week. Hopefully he ends the year on a high note, because I'm sorry, Nick Harris. It's, a shame we never got to really see the Nick Harris movie. But the way Ethan Pocic played this year, how do you not keep him back, right? How do you not bring him back? Now, I'm not really sure what Pocic is going to go for on the open market, as he's a free agent this year. What if the Browns offered him a 2-year contract worth $15 million, 7.5 average, $8 million guaranteed? I know those aren't big numbers, and maybe I'm underpricing him a little bit, but unless you're really a top 2 center, which this year he's a third, but not all GMs look at PFF grades, there's a big drop-off in interior offensive line money, right? You love to put a lot of money in your tackles to protect your quarterback, and then a really, really good center. But the second-tier ones, they sometimes fall down a little bit. So I think $8 million guaranteed over 2 years may very well be in the cards for Ethan Pocic. Before we let you guys go, as always, it is Petey's Doghouse after every single week. After losses, it's not a good doghouse to be in. And after the loss, on the leash is Kareem Hunt. What happened? What has happened to Kareem Hunt? I was a big fan of keep Hunt in Cleveland. Remember, I was the chairman of that. Nowadays, I'm looking back at myself going, if anyone called and offered you a 4th-round pick, I sure hope you took it. Backyard only is Kevin Stefanski. That's a dog that you trust, but not enough to go mingle with other dogs. And for Stefanski, listen, I know he's getting a lot of flack right now, and maybe some of it isn't all on him. But at the end of the day, in the 4th quarter, when you pass it on 3rd and 4th short situations, you got too cute with it and you overthought it. And in the doghouse, I'm going to put the media in the doghouse. Am I a part of the media? Maybe. I'm putting the media in the doghouse because way too many big J's and blue check marks on Twitter right now are just looking at Deshaun Watson's stats and going, oh my goodness, the Browns or the Broncos, what another horrible trade. Tell me you didn't watch a single snap by Deshaun Watson without telling me that. Because if you have watched Deshaun Watson play, you have seen week in and week out, he has gotten better and better. He has shaken some rust off, which was all expected. And the drops are not on him. Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and David Njoku, all 3 players with very unfortunate drops against the Saints. Listen, if you have not watched a snap of Cleveland Browns football with Watson, that's fine. Just say so, Dov. But don't go out there tweeting box scores of 15 for 31 saying, Watson sucks. The Browns have made a huge mistake. No, Watson has been getting better every single week, and he has made some incredible plays. And those people are going to be getting some old takes exposed next season. But I'll let you guys have the floor here. Kind of the last question of the show. Are you concerned about Deshaun Watson? Yes or no? I am not. I am not whatsoever. He has made some incredible throws. He has definitely had some cobwebs to shake off, but he has gotten better by the week. I am not concerned about this trade, what they gave up for him. They needed a superstar quarterback, and they got one.